Hey guys, Jake the Sports, here with you for a halftime report of the Wisconsin Notre Dame game. It's been an interesting one. I'll say that it has been an interesting one. Let's just get this out of the way. The first quarter, for Notre Dame was awful. That was one of the worst quarters of football I've seen all year from any team ever. It was horrible. If anything could go wrong in that first quarter, it did. I think the only thing we did right was stop Wisconsin on that fourth down. But, Jack Cohn was making passes left and right. He was looking really good, even with all the pressure he was getting. And to come up and have Jonathan Dorr miss a 37-yarder is unacceptable. I know he made a 51-yarder later in the game. That does not make it up to me. You cannot miss that. You can't miss that. After a drive like that, to get no points is just not good. It's just not. So, and this is all about the offense and special teams, because we'll get into both of those. But let me just say right off the bat, the defense has been incredible. That pick by number 3, I don't know his name, on defense was incredible. We've only held them to 3 points, and honestly, those 3 points, the only reason they got them is because they started inside our 40, because our special teams and our punter, besides that last punt, is not very good. The defense has played amazing. You can't ask much more. The offense, again, Cohn has looked brilliant at times, and he's looked meh to bad at times. He's made a few bad throws, but I think he's definitely beating out Mertz in terms of who's the better quarterback, because Mertz made way too many mistakes. Still has not thrown a touchdown pass all year. That's the best pass he had all day. So I think Cohn's definitely been playing better, but again, no time really to pass the ball, and I'm shocked we're winning this game I expected to get dominated on the offensive line, and we are, but it's not as bad as I thought. Notre Dame has held their own a little bit. They've had Kyron Williams picking up blocks, and same with Michael Mayer, which has been really helpful. And this is the number one problem I have with Cohn. He's got to use his feet. I've seen several times now, excluding one drive, where Cohn there will be 5 guys, he'll be in the pocket, and I see a hole where he can get through, and he just falls down. He falls down, folds up like a dollar store lawn chair. And you just can't do that. And one drive, he used his legs, and he got yardage, and that's the reason I believe we got a field goal. He had 2 times where he was going to get sacked. He escaped pressure and got 6 or 7 yards. He's not a slow dude. I just don't know why he chooses to just fold up sometimes. I think that's the one thing he needs to improve upon, is be more confident in his running game and have spatial awareness, because he has tripped as well many, many times, and you can't have that. But he's made solid passes, with the amount of time he gets, I can live with it. He's been making solid passes, and he's looked good, and we're winning the game. Now, special teams. Like I said, unacceptable that Jonathan Dorr missed that 37-yarder. And I'm telling you guys, he's been doing this since early last year, and I really haven't seen improvement. Sure, he made a long field goal, but come on, you can't miss a 37-yarder. That's just unacceptable. Remember when Yoon was automatic? Justin Yoon? Man, I love that guy. I think he has the most points scored in Notre Dame history. He was just automatic. Didn't matter where you set him up, he would make it. I want a guy like that again, and I don't think it's too much to ask at a school like Notre Dame. I don't know. And we should be up 13-3 right now, probably even more. I'm trying to think of other blunders that we had. Cohn threw an interception, but it was batted off, and it actually didn't even count as an interception. I will admit, that was a iffy call on pass interference. I think it was, but it was close. If I was a Wisconsin fan, I would not be happy. And don't get me wrong, I mean, this game is not over whatsoever. I could come back on here screaming and raging that we lost, and I hope that doesn't happen. And I don't think it will, because Notre Dame certainly made many mistakes in this first half. Don't get it twisted. So if Notre Dame cleans that up and their defense looks solid as ever, like it has been the entire game, we're going to win this game. But again, the Marcus Freeman defense finally showing up, and that's good that we had those 3 games to ease into things, because now he's really seeing it. And I said, if you want to win, if you want to keep this game even close, Notre Dame's defense has to be on point, and it has been. So that's why we're in this game and why we're winning. Now, another point about the first half here, you talk about my 2 keys to the game were get out to an early lead, and what was the other one? I'll try to think of the other one, but the first one was get out to an early lead, and we didn't do that. We did not do that at all. I think we had like a sack or something, and then we punted the ball back. It was a terrible punt. I still got to get into the punter. And, the defense did everything they could, and they didn't give up a touchdown. They scored a field goal. Only points they put on the board today. So, that first drive for Notre Dame still has an impact on how this game is. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, the punting. Listen, our punter, it's like our kicker and our punter are just so inconsistent. Our punter, he had like a freaking, I don't even know, like a 30-yard punt. It was ugly. It was ugly for sure. And then, towards the end of the half, he kicks like a 71-yard punt. It's like, what? And then, I think, there was a big play on special teams for Wisconsin, but it got called back again. And Wisconsin's doing something that you don't see a lot. You really don't see it a lot. And what it is that they're beating themselves up at times. And I believe that's the difference right now. So it's surprising to me that Wisconsin's beating themselves up and that we are winning this ball game. But yeah, it's finally nice to see Notre Dame at least be competent at the game of football. Again, nowhere near perfect, though. I'm not saying we're in Alabama or at Georgia right now, because we're not. We still got a ton of things to clean up. The offensive line, it's not good. It's still not good, but it's getting there. Our offensive line now is at the point where it's at least not holding us back from even winning. I think we can win with the offensive line we have. It's just the other parts of our team are going to need to pick it up. And the receivers have been great as well. Every single one of them, Wilkins, Austin, Lindsey. I mean, all of them have been great. Michael Mayer, too. I believe Kyron's gotten in on the receiving, if I'm not wrong. And Chris Tyree. So, they've all been solid. And Cone's been making some nice passes. He has a few bad ones here and there, but you can't expect him to make it every time. I think Cone's just a solid quarterback, and that's what we said he was going to be. It's just really the offensive line play has shifted my view on how good I thought Cone was. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, though. I mean, Whiskey's the basic what is it called? I don't even know. To sum up this halftime report into a few sentences here. Wisconsin's beating themselves up. Mertz is not playing well. Our offensive line is a little bit better, and it's at least letting us win a game, hopefully. And the receivers have been playing great. And, yeah. Get that 106th win, Brian Kelly. Oh, and one more thing. Brian Kelly, that's the one thing I was saying. Brian Kelly needs to stop being conservative. Piper. Sorry, that's my dog. Brian Kelly needs to stop being conservative. He just needs to cut it out, and what he needs to do is just go for it, man. I mean, this is a game of football. This is a game of inches. and you got to go for it sometimes. I did not like that we had like 19 seconds left, and we didn't at least try to run a play. He just kneeled it. Because we almost got a fumble at the end there, and we could have gotten some points, and I'm surprised he didn't feel any emotion about that and at least try to get something out of it, you know? I don't know. It's just not what I would do. Luckily, he went on it for that 4th and 1 earlier in the game, where I thought he was going to punt. I was flipping out when they said he was going to punt, but it turns out he went for it. That's pretty much it, though. Like I said all this stuff earlier, what I think of this halftime report. Notre Dame, just keep playing some solid football, and we got ourselves a win, and that'll be number 4, hopefully. I'll see you guys later. Peace.